Joseph Stalin, a name synonymous with fear and brutality throughout the 20th century, was not born into power or privilege. Born as Joseph Vissarionovich Jugashvili in 1878 in Gori, Georgia, he grew up in a poor peasant family. His father, an alcoholic shoemaker, subjected him to regular beatings, and his mother struggled as a laundress to make ends meet. Smallpox marked his face during childhood, leaving him with lifelong facial scars that contributed to his tough exterior. Young Stalin excelled in his studies, earning a scholarship to a theological seminary. But it wasn't faith that consumed him, it was the fiery rhetoric of revolution. Stalin found his calling in the radical politics of the time, aligning himself with the Bolsheviks, a group hell-bent on overthrowing the Russian monarchy. His loyalty and skill at organizing workers' strikes didn't go unnoticed. Lenin, the leader of the Bolsheviks, saw potential in this young revolutionary. As the winds of change swept across Russia in the October Revolution of 1917, Stalin was right in the thick of it. His role in orchestrating the uprising further cemented his place within the Bolshevik leadership. With the death of Lenin, a power vacuum emerged that Stalin was all too ready to fill. The road to absolute power is seldom without bloodshed, and Stalin's ascent was no exception. After Lenin's death, a power vacuum ensued within the Bolshevik Party. The ensuing struggle for leadership saw Stalin, the man from humble beginnings, employ a mix of cunning and ruthlessness to eliminate his rivals. Trotsky, a formidable adversary, was exiled, and Bukharin, once an ally, was purged. But consolidating power was only half the battle. Stalin now faced the monumental task of transforming a largely agrarian society into an industrial powerhouse. His solution? Two policies of seismic proportions: collectivization and industrialization. The former saw the forced amalgamation of individual farms into state-controlled enterprises, while the latter propelled the Soviet Union into the industrial age at a breakneck speed. Yet these reforms came at a staggering human cost. Millions of lives were upended, countless perished, and a culture of fear pervaded the land. But the reign of terror was just beginning. Under Stalin's rule, fear became a constant companion for the Soviet people. The Great Purge, a brutal campaign of political repression, saw Stalin eliminate all perceived threats within the Communist Party, military, and intelligentsia. From prominent figures like Nikolai Bukharin, a once ally-turned-rival, to ordinary citizens accused of being enemies of the people, no one was safe from Stalin's paranoia. But the terror didn't stop at political purges. The Ukrainian Holodomor, a man-made famine, resulted from Stalin's ruthless policy of forced collectivization. Millions starved as the Soviet regime seized grain to export, using hunger as a weapon to crush resistance. Simultaneously, Stalin's regime established the notorious Gulag system, a network of labor camps where dissenters were silenced and worked to death under abysmal conditions. The reign of terror left a lasting impact, but the world was yet to see the full extent of Stalin's influence. Stalin's rule did not end with his death. His legacy continues to echo in history. As World War II unfurled, Stalin's strategic decisions, both brutal and pragmatic, played a pivotal role in the defeat of the Axis powers, but at an enormous cost to the Soviet Union. The war left the nation scarred, its population decimated, its cities in ruins. In the post-war era, Stalin's influence extended beyond his borders, casting a long shadow on the Cold War and global politics, shaping the geopolitical landscape for decades. But the effects were not only international. At home, Stalin's policies had long-term impacts on Soviet society, culture, and economy. His iron-fisted rule left an indelible mark on the collective memory, a lasting trauma that continues to reverberate in Russia and other former Soviet states. Stalin's transformation from an idealistic youth to a ruthless autocrat raises enduring questions about the nature of power, ideology, and the complexities of human motivation. His legacy remains a cautionary tale, reminding the world of the dangers of unchecked authority and the distortion of noble ideals.